Thank you. I do appreciate the opportunity to be here today and to be able to talk to you about what it's like to be a recruiter in rural America. While I have overall responsibility for all of the recruitment, one of my main focuses is the recruitment of physicians. Medicare Health System is a physician-led integrated healthcare system. We're pretty well known for our use of the electronic health record and innovative care models such as the Proven Health Navigator, the medical home, those types of things. Our system serves 2.6 million people spread out through 42 counties of Pennsylvania. The majority of them are what we would classify as rural. Our health system has over 14,000 employees. We have 2 large medical centers, which would be quaternary tertiary care centers. We have 37 community practice sites, which is really our primary care locations, spread out through those 42 counties. We have 5 life flight helicopters for when you live in rural America. You need to get people to the main centers, so we do a lot of transport from the smaller independent hospitals as well as just traumas. And in fiscal year 2010, we had $2.65 billion in revenue. So we're a pretty big place, but we still struggle to find physicians for rural health care. Over the past 4 years, we've recruited over 400 physicians. Last year alone, we recruited 120 physicians. This slide here gives you an average of the types of physicians we recruit every year. And as you can see, there's about a 3-to-1 difference between primary care and specialists. We also rely heavily on advanced practitioners, which is part of our model, and then nurses. It can take anywhere from 6 months to 3 years to find the right physician who wants to practice in a rural environment. We just recently filled a family medicine position that had been open since before I came to Geisinger almost 5 years ago. For the majority of physicians, a rural-based practice will not even garner a second look. I subscribe to a database of current residents and fellows for recruitment purposes. And this database company, Practice Match, surveyed 18,000 current residents and fellows as to their geographic preference when they finished their training. And only 20% said they would be open to considering a rural practice environment. And as one of your members recently said, I heard him say, docs go where docs go. They want to go where all their friends and their colleagues are going. What are some of the challenges that we face in rural recruitment? Well, there's a perceived lack of amenities. We don't have a Nordstrom's, we don't have the symphony, we don't have the opera, but we have boating and fishing and hiking and beautiful surroundings. Call is a big issue. For who's going to support them, who's going to be their backup. There's a perceived lack of access to cutting-edge technology. As they finish their training in academic centers, they're used to having all the latest toys, and their perception is they're not going to have that. They do at the main Geisinger Medical Center, but at a lot of the smaller community hospitals, they don't have the latest MRI. And so they feel kind of deprived if they don't have those things. They're concerned about educational opportunities for their children. Not all rural areas have, excellent education. Some do, but some don't. And many physicians are married to another professional, sometimes a physician, sometimes in another job, and it's difficult to find employment for that spouse. So what do we do at Geisinger to try to overcome some of these challenges? Well, we can't hide that we live in rural America because they're going to figure it out when they get there. So we try to promote what's great about living there. And Jennifer set me up very well because we talk about lifestyle work balance. We tell them that they don't have a commute anymore. There's no more hour commute. They can go to their children's soccer game. And maybe if they have to go back to the office, they can do it after the children go to sleep. At Geisinger, we emphasize our dependence on, or our reliance on, the electronic health record. All of those 37 community practices are tied into the main medical center. So a doctor who's in a two-man practice out in a tiny little town has the same access to information and the PAC system for radiology as they do if they were living in a larger community or at the main center. We also offer very competitive compensation, good benefits, and excellent relocation package. We try to be flexible with that. We do a lot of loan repayment. We do a lot of forgivable loans, recruitment loans. We also hire qualified foreign medical graduates. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. And we also train our own. Going back to that geographic preference, we try to attract people who have ties to our area, who have ties to a rural environment, who already know that type of lifestyle and that they enjoy it. It costs to recruit. It costs a lot to recruit rurally. I don't have exact numbers, but I have recruited for a large suburban area in the south, and I've recruited up in Geisinger, and it costs a lot more. It costs to get them there, the transport. You often have to pay a premium to get someone to go to one of those really undesirable areas. And another problem, as I mentioned, is call coverage. You may not have enough work for 2 general surgeons, but you're going to have to hire 2 general surgeons because no doctor is going to come thinking that they're going to be on 24/7. They need to have call coverage. They need to have vacation coverage. They need a break. So you have to find a partner or find a creative way to cover for them. And for Geisinger, while we're a rural health system in and of itself, we are also a safety net for the even smaller community hospitals that are in our service market. So we either are taking over hospitals. We've got 3 hospitals now that have come to us that we're going to merge with, or we provide physicians for them. We put hospitalists into a lot of different smaller communities. We're putting an EICU in several rural community hospitals to tie them into the critical care physicians at the main center. We also take care of the life flight. We bring people in, and as I said, we train our own. We spent $6.2 million in fiscal year 10 on forgivable loans. We spent over $35 million in training for not just graduate medical education, but CRNAs, medical techs, and RNs. We face the same obstacles that everyone else faces, that there's a shortage of physicians, and in particular, there's a shortage of primary care. I think that medical student loan indebtedness plays a part in primary care recruitment and decisions of students going into primary care. According to the American College AAMC in 2008, the average debt load was $141,000 for students finishing medical school. So what are some solutions? This is my humble opinion, but I would like us to have policies and procedures in place that would make it financially viable for people to go to primary care, to rural primary care. That we would also help them with their medical loan repayments. I also would like there to be more of a definition of the word underserved, because the government agencies have different views, states have different views. As I said, we hire foreign doctors, but we can't hire all of them based on what their visa status is. Right, you know, and because of Geisinger being a large center, even though we're in rural America and we take care of the rural America, we can't always hire those some of those very qualified physicians. So I would ask that there be some real concentrated effort at looking and expanding what it means to be underserved so that we can get those the physicians and providers that we need. I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk about this important topic. Geisinger is more fortunate than many of the rural communities. We have a great reputation for innovation. We're financially sound. We provide a great work environment. But we still face all the same obstacles. We're located in Danville, Pennsylvania, which has 6,000 people. More people come to work every day at the Geisinger Medical Center than live in Danville. So our reputation helps us get people for the first interview, but then we have to show them that a rural life is possible for them. We have to work on covering all of these areas where people are desperate to get in for quality health care. So I thank you very much, and I hope that these policies that you are considering will really look at how we can get more physicians and providers to rural America.
Thank you very much, and thank you also for driving 4 hours to get here. I know there's airports where you live.
That's true. Another downside of rural America.